Hi, welcome to this Special Friends Ministry on-demand training module on something called a safe spot. And on this module, I'm going to discuss the safe spot, which is going to focus on a research-based best practice that will support and enhance the learning and inclusion of your students with special needs. It's common for everyone to experience stress when dealing with life on a day-to-day basis, and as adults, we know this. But for children on the autism spectrum or children with some other types of developmental disabilities, some of those daily situations for them can actually result in a greater than average level of stress or anxiety. And when this happens, it's important that they have a specific strategy to support them in coping and regulating their emotional state. And a safe spot is such a strategy. A safe spot is a location, or more specifically, it's a location that allows a child with autism or some other type of developmental disability to do one of four things. One, to take a break from a stressful situation. Two, to prepare him or herself for an upcoming activity. Three, to regain emotional control in order to avoid a complete meltdown. Or four, a safe spot can be a place to recover from a meltdown. So again, the definition of a safe spot is this. A safe spot is a specific location where a child or a teen or an adult can feel safe and comfortable. And it's a location that can be in a church, in a home, or a school. And usually, as generic examples, a safe spot can be a specific place within a building, like a particular room, or a safe spot can be a specific place within a room. In the education system I worked in, we had safe spots in certain classrooms that were actually located in the corner of the classroom. And in other schools that I've worked at, we've had safe spots that were a specific room within a building. If at all possible, the safe spot should be chosen with the help of the individual who's going to be using the safe spot. The older that your student is, especially if they're a middle schooler or high schooler, the more important that is to give them a little bit of say-so and where the safe spot might be. And a safe spot is a location that generally has few distractions, and it provides structure and supervision if needed, and safety. To give you an idea of what a safe spot might look like for a younger child, it might be a location within a room. And in this picture here, you can see where the safe spot, actually, this is located in a corner of a classroom. You see that there's a very comfortable chair there that a child can sit in, some favorite books to look at. Again, a safe spot is a place for a child to regain emotional control, or it's a place that a child can go to if you think they're starting to lose emotional control. It's a place that they can go to just kind of calm down and get it back together before re-entering the activity that's occurring in the classroom. For older children or young adults, the safe spot might be somebody's office. It could be the student pastor's office or a counselor's office. Again, it's going to be a location that generally has very minimal distractions and provides safety and structure and supervision if needed. And so somebody's office can serve as a safe spot. Some other examples of safe spots for adults or perhaps older students. Again, a safe spot could be a location within a building, like a room here that you see. And this one's pretty bare. Safe spots should be very individualized. For some people, that means there could be books or soft music to listen to. For others, you don't want anything in there whatsoever because it causes too much distractions, and you just want something where a person can go and sit down and relax and not be distracted by anything. A safe spot could also just be a very comfortable chair. So a safe spot can look a variety of ways. Again, generally, there's few distractions associated with a safe spot. There is safety involved. It's a safe place to be, and supervision if needed. So a safe spot is a location that can include individualized strategies to reduce stress. Again, the safe spot's a place that's designed to reduce internal stress and support an individual in getting back to whatever it was or whatever it is that she or he needs to be doing. Some of the individualized strategies that are often found in safe spots include sensory activities, music, headphones to kind of drown out surrounding noise, or other such ideas that are designed to meet an individual's needs for calming down. And again, the key point here is an individual needs. You're going to find that for some students, a sensory activity might do the trick. For others, listening to soothing music. For others, it might be that it's too loud, and so some noise-canceling headphones might be the thing that they can put on and sit down and relax while they're looking in a book. Individualized needs, and you're looking for those strategies that help calm a child or a young learner down, and you're going to include those activities in that safe spot. Basically, there's two ways that you can use a safe spot. The first way is that the safe spot can be used as a reactive strategy. In other words, the safe spot can just be used as needed when it's needed. You have a student who is becoming stressed and filled with an anxiety and starting to lose emotional control in the beginning stages of a meltdown. You could use the safe spot right then and there as a place that he or she could go to calm down. You might have a student transition into your room already in the middle of a meltdown. Again, the safe spot could be used to transition that young person to that location to calm down so that they could join you or rejoin you a little bit later. The safe spot can also be used as a proactive strategy. In other words, a safe spot can be something that's a scheduled component of your classroom for an individual, because once you get to learn your learners well enough, you begin to know those situations or those people or those activities that start to trigger a greater than normal amount of stress or anxiety or a meltdown, and you could schedule your safe spot for those particular times in order to help them to avoid those. When can the safe spot be used? There's two instances typically. The use of the safe spot can be initiated by the student, him or herself. In other words, as they feel necessary to remove themselves from a situation because they're starting to become overwhelmed, they can initiate the use of the safe spot. Or in some cases, some students, some younger learners don't recognize their own personal signs of stress or anxiety, and in that case, the use of the safe spot can be initiated by a teacher or another adult. One important concept about the safe spot to recognize is that the safe spot is not timeout. In other words, the safe spot is a place of support. It's not a place for punishment. And the safe spot is something that you use proactively to help someone to calm down or to prevent a meltdown. It's not used as a place of punishment. If you're using a procedure called timeout, then that location should be a location that's different from the location of the safe spot. Now, the use of the safe spot is a good strategy, but like all the other strategies that I've discussed in other modules, each one in isolation is not going to prevent behaviors 100% of the time. But you start using these positive support strategies in conjunction with one another, you're going to find that together, that's called synergy, that together they're much more effective than they are separately. And so the safe spot concept can and should be used with other teaching strategies that help either in direct instruction or self-regulation skills. And the goal of the safe spot is to always increase independence. In other words, to teach your learner over time how to recognize their own personal signs of stress or anxiety and to be able to ask for a chance to remove themselves from a situation in order to calm down, to avoid an emotional meltdown. And the only problem that I find typically associated with the safe spot is that some learners start to use it as a way to get out of work or a way to get out of something that they don't want to do. Now, the safe spot is a place to relax and to calm down from a stressful environment. It's not a place that's designed to let a learner get out of work. Now, that's just going to simply have to be your call. Is that okay for you to remove themselves from this situation and avoid a meltdown by letting them do that? Then let them do it. But if this is an activity that they need to participate in, typically what I recommend is that if there is an activity that can be done that can be brought to the safe spot, then bring that work to the safe spot and allow them to complete it there where it's more quiet, or allow those kids to take a break to calm down, and once they're calmed down, bring them back into that activity in order to finish the activity. And that way the safe spot isn't being used as a place to get out of demands or out of work. But in the end, that's your call.